There are quite a few key milestones. Actually, I must say the board is very much happy in the fact that it's leaving Amatola Water at its remarkable high echelon. We can mention but these few milestones which we achieved in our 4-year term, but without really addressing ourselves in borrowed robes, let us acknowledge the fact that we found Amatola Water in a sustainable condition, and we're leaving it in a most sustainable condition. We found it in a proper good governance position, and we're leaving it as such. So what I can say is we have improved what was already there. I can mention this pertinently 4, if not 5 areas of milestones which we can proudly say we have managed to take Amatola Water to the next level. But for any success, there must be a reason for the success. The composition itself made it quite conducive to have a successful board. Why? Because it was diverse in terms of expertise and in terms of experiences. We had people from ranging from legal, environmentalist, management experts, finance, engineering, and more importantly also local government. That made us to be that was a recipe for success to start with. And then there are these areas which I could say they are clearly our footprint during our period. One is revenue. We do understand, all of us, that we're coming, if we have come out of it anyway, from a crisis, from a global financial crisis. But irrespective of that, Amatola Water, within its own mandate, has managed to increase its revenue base. We have increased our revenue base in the past 4 years by 266%. And therefore, that translated to sustainable growth, which our customers also have benefited from. That is one. And secondly, it is on quality. You'd recall that the Department of Water Affairs and Forests, as it then was, which is now Department of Environmental and Water Affairs currently, introduced a Blue Drop Status Award last year, and we participated in it. The benchmark target as per SANS Class 1 portable standards is 96%, and our plants received 99.26% compliance standard, and that has been sort of consistent over the 4-year period. And for that, we then got 2 awards for Blue Drop status. And as you know, that if water is important to have, but if you don't have quality water, then that becomes poison. So it means we've managed to give people quality water. But quality, if it's not sufficient, does not help, then quantity also becomes important. So from 15.7 million liters that we produce annually in 1999, during our period, we managed to increase that to 29 million kiloliters, which means then more people got more water during this period. Actually, it does not mean that it has to end there. We still need to have more, but at least that is how far we've gone with the meager resources that we had. And linked to that is also efficiency, because you can produce as much water as you can, but if that water does not reach people because it gets lost in the network, then that does not help. And then the industry standards is that there are certain minimum requirements of losses that can be regarded as efficient or not. During this period, we have consistently maintained that efficiency levels, because at the time that we're producing 15.7 million kiloliters, our efficiencies were 4.99%. And now that we're producing 29 million kiloliters, our efficiencies is 5.37%. So we have consistently maintained the efficiency levels. But over and above that, we have also managed to get the organic growth, or growth for that matter, for the business. That is having to manage to have a footprint in the province. The time this particular board got in, as it was, the case was, we had to operate within that gazetted area. But the board consistently maintained we need to be the premier service provider in the Eastern Cape. We must have found a footprint. Well, that also could not just come willy-nilly, because we have to know what are the legal parameters for doing that. For you to be able to supply the entire province, it cannot be only the wish of Amatola Water. It needs engagement with stakeholders. It needed more relationship building. We managed to rebuild our relationship by because, as we all know, the water service authorities are the ones that opens the door for any water board to operate in its jurisdiction. So we managed to have a more firmer footprint within ADM, and now we've got a contract that we are servicing, which is doing very well. We managed to have Chris Ani District Municipality, and recently we now have Ukahlamba District Municipality, and we also been given instructions by the Department of Water Affairs to take over the ailing Albany Coast Water Board. The minister would not have done so if it were not for our efficiencies, if it were not for our quality of work. We're now busy responding to the minister after we've done our due diligence as to the steps that we're going to do to take over and turn around the ailing Albany Coast Water Services. And Albany Coast Water Board. And over and above, for anything that you do administratively as a board, the only guiding document that we have is governance. If your corporate governance is not in shape, there is no way that you are going to be able to achieve anything. This has been one torchlight for this particular board. We have always made it a point that we do everything to the letter of the law. We have always made it a point that we practice good corporate governance. That, of course, has come in handy at the times when we have to be challenged, when our decisions have to be challenged, either to the shareholder or to the courts or to the Auditor General. We came back with a clean slate. And that is very rare in any government institution.